Assalamualaikum. For the Milestone 5, we will presenting our mini project about weather forecasting system. The team member for this project is me, NUR'AINA binti YAACOF, FARAH ADIBAH and Nurul Wahida binti ROSLI. In Milestone 1, it's about description of the project, objective, responsibilities and Gantt chart. The weather forecasting system project is to predict the weather and atmosphere for a given location. It helps users to find out the weather and the temperature, humidity on that day. The objective for our project are user will be able to log in into our weather forecasting system. User can also register into our system if they haven't created an account. And after that, user will be able to check weather and temperature on the chosen location. The responsibilities required in this project are: first, project management, which is in charge of managing all aspects of project planning, scheduling, calculating budget, and evaluating project risk. Next is requirement analysis, in charge of research and analysis all of the requirements needed for the project. Next, software developers are responsible to create the system based on the requirement provided by the client. They usually work as a back-end developer for the system. Next, web designers are responsible as front-end developer to create the interface of the system, including all the necessary function components. Last but not least is tester. Software testing requires checking every aspect of the functionality and effectiveness of the software. Usually, end user will test the system before the team deliver the system to the world. Next is Gantt chart for the project. The plan for the project is from November until January. In November, we will do project planning and gather requirements needed for the project until week 1 of December. After gather all the requirements needed and scheduling a plan, we will design the project based on the requirements needed. After that is implementation and testing, and then deployment and maintenance if there is any changes needed for the system. In Milestone 2, there are use case diagram, flow of event, and sequence diagram. For the use case diagram of the project, there will be two actors, which is user and weather forecasting system. The user can log in and create an account and then view current weather in the system. This is the first requirement of flow of event for login use case. The description for the use case is user need to log in the application by entering the username and password. User need to log in an account by inserting a valid username and password. After that, user will be able to enter the application. Normal flow of the login use case is: first, user need to open the application, and then the system will display welcome page to the user. The system will ask user to insert user ID and password. After that, a login button will be displayed. If the login is successful, the system will show the homepage of the application. If user unable to log in, the system will send a pop-up message that the username or password is incorrect, and user need to re-enter the username and password correctly. After that, the use case will resume on step 4 of the normal flow.
I will explain of flow of event of requirement 2. The use case ID is 2. The use case name is to create an account. Actor is user. The description are creating a new account for the first timer user. Precondition is user need to key in information that needed to create an account. The detail must be valid. The post condition is user able to enter the system. The normal flow is open the application. Next, the system will display welcome page to the user. Third, user insert new username for the account. Fourth, user insert a strong password. Fifth, user need to re-enter password for confirmation. Sixth, user need to insert an email for verification. 7. User will receive a pop-up notification for verification. And 8. User can enter the application if the account is successfully. The alternative flow in this requirement 2 is not applicable. The exception, there are 2. In step 3 of normal flow, if user unable to create an account, the username that created is unavailable. The user need to re-enter a new username and the use case will resume on step 3 of normal flow. The second exception is user unable to verify by email. User need to insert phone number to allow the system verify the account, and the use case will resume on the step 7 of normal flow. And the flow of event for requirement 3 is use case ID 3, use case name, view current weather, actor, user. The description is current weather status check. Precondition are user already has an account to enter the system. The atmosphere current condition should be gathered scientifically and the information must be valid. The post condition is user able to view the current weather. User can stay updated with the current atmosphere change. The normal flow of the requirement 3 is user can share the current location. Next, the system will check the weather based on the shared location. Third, the system will display the weather status, temperature, humidity, visibility and pressure. And lastly, it will receive a notification. There is analytic flow. If a user wants to search weather for different location, user need to enter the new location specifically. Next, the system will check the validation of the new location, and the use case will resume on step 2 of normal flow. For the sequence diagram of use case 1, there is user, login and database. There also is exception 1 if the user insert an invalid username and password. Next, the sequence diagram of use case 2, there is user, sign up and database. There is 2 exceptions in this diagram. First exception are if the username is unavailable, and the second exception is if the email is invalid. Lastly, the sequence diagram of use case 3, there is user, location, search engine, view weather and weather database. There are the alternative flow and exception. The alternative is user can search the new location, and the exception is if the weather checking is unavailable.
Next is Milestone 3, High Level Design. In Milestone 3, we have view package, which is view package, bins package, controller package, and database package. First is view package. View package have login, invalid login, register, invalid register, add node, edit node, and weather app.jsp, which is related to bins, controller, and database package. Next is bins package, have sign up data, login data, and location data class. In sign up data, for attribute, sign up data have username, password, and email. Login data, for login data attribute have username and password. Location data have attribute location, which is related to view package, database package, and controller package. Next is controller package, which function to control the system. They have login controller and weather controller. For login controller, they have attribute user and operation check login, invalid login and register. Next is weather controller. Weather controller have attribute user. For operation, they have check location, check temperature, check humidity, and also pop-up message for unable that happens in the system. Last is the database package. Database package have custom XML parser.java, which have attribute user and operation get XML from URL, which related to view package and controller package. For database, connector.java, they have attribute connection and user. For operation, they have execute query and get connector. For class current user.java, they have attribute ID, type, username, and password. And also the operation have for get set ID, get set type, get set username, and get set password, which is each of the class related to the controller. Then for the Milestone 4 testing. In Milestone 4, we have 3 test case, which is test case for use case 1, test case for use case 2, and test case for use case 3. For test case for use case 1, we have test scenario ID, which is login, created by Aina. From the table, we have test case ID, which is TC login, test scenario verify login of weather forecasting system, test case user enter valid user ID and password, precondition user already have an account for weather forecasting system, test tabs, key in user ID, key in password and click on login button. For test data valid user ID and valid password will have expected result successful login. For expected result, a message will pop up, sorry you entered an incorrect user ID or password, please try again. Is come from the 3 test data, which is first, test data valid user ID invalid password, second, invalid user ID valid password, third, invalid user ID invalid password. Then for test case for use case 2, we have test scenario ID create an account, which is created by FARAH ADIBAH, BINTI S.MASREY. From the table, we have test case ID TC create account, test scenario creating an account of weather forecasting system, test case user enter valid user ID, strong password and email, precondition user need to insert the information to create account for weather forecasting system. Test tab, first is click on sign up button, second key in user ID, third key in strong password, fourth re-enter password, 5 key in email. For test data valid user ID, strong password and valid email, the expected result is a message will pop up, congratulations, your email is valid and successfully creating an account. For the expected result, a message will pop up, sorry you entered an unavailable user ID, please try again. The test data is first, unavailable user ID, strong password, valid email, second, valid user ID, weak password, valid email, third, valid user ID, strong password, invalid email, third, valid user ID, strong password and valid phone number. Next, for test case for use case 3, have test scenario view current weather, which is created by me, Nurul, Wahida, BINTI, ROSLI. From the table, we have test case ID TC view weather, test scenario verify current weather of location by weather forecasting system, test case user share valid location to view current weather, precondition user enter specific location with right latitude and longitude, test tab, first insert location, second click on view current weather button. For test data valid location and valid weather, we have expected result successful view current weather. For expected result, a message will pop up, sorry you entered an incorrect location or weather, please try again. The test data, first is valid location invalid weather, second invalid location valid weather, and third invalid location invalid weather.
Lastly is the conclusion. In a nutshell, weather forecasting system is important to help people prepare for a variety of weather conditions. It is because some can be hazardous to people's health, unsafe driving conditions, and major property of damage. Thus, it is easier for people to make choices daily based on the weather conditions and be prepared for stocking up on necessary errands if extreme weather hit. However, the forecasting is limited to predict the atmosphere. It is impossible to get full accuracy and control over the weather. Hence, we should take benefit from the weather forecasting system as it can simplify human lives. That's all from our group. Thank you.